Is it possible to find love in today's world?
That sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
Like the intro to a movie.
And it might be a fictional tale. Because a lot of people will say it's not possible.
Right.
Blueface, and I think it's Chrisean Rock.
Oh, yeah.
You know, something with rock at the end. These, if you've been following, I guess, I don't know, hip hop or, music, media, even though they're not really known for that at this point. But if you're aware of these figures, chances are you've heard some of the craziness that occurred in the last few days. Yes, they are officially over, at least according to Blueface. And she is officially pregnant. Yeah.
That baby ain't mine.
We're going to talk about that, man. It is your boy Gamma back with the lovely
Juju.
So before we get into the show, go ahead, guys. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell. You don't want to miss a video. And be sure to drop your comments, like the video, all that good YouTube stuff. But we're talking about Blueface and Chrisean Rock. And they've been making their waves lately. And it's actually hard to find anything positive, to be honest.
About them.
Yeah. In any way, like whether it's the fighting, the screaming, the abusive language, the substance abuse, the list goes on. You don't really see anything good about them. So this is nothing like negative or hateful that we're talking about. We're simply covering what's been happening. And the reason why, mainly, we talked about this briefly, Juju, but they are of a certain age that really have a lot of impact or influence on the youth, right?
That is true.
People who are still in school, they look up to these kind of individuals. They say, man, they're just living life, doing whatever they want. They appear to have money. They appear to be free.
Free, yes.
That's the very tragic mistake I think a lot of people make. And so we want to touch on that right now. Kind of bring you up to speed. Blueface is an artist, hailing from the West Coast.
Yep.
He was signed, or he still may be signed and managed to Whack 100. Whack 100 is a music manager, and he's from the Compton, West Coast area, Long Beach, Long Branch. I think Long Beach. I don't know. I get it mixed up. I'm not from the West Coast. Don't do that to me,
What's
man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he had a song, right, a few years back, I think several years now, but the song was called Tatiana.
Yeah.
Man.
That was definitely a one-hit wonder.
It was a big one-hit wonder.
One hit, yeah.
It did its thing for like that summer when, whatever year that was. Could have been even 2017 for all I know. It was been a while. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because, that's what he's known for. He's a music artist. But also that song, I don't know how old our audience is or how out of touch of, today's modern lingo. But Tatiana is a reference to the word thought. The word thought
means
it comes from Chicago, right?
Right.
And according to the Urban Dictionary,
let's break that open.
That garden tool over there.
Yes.
Yeah, so that H word over there. That's what it means, So it used to be said around guys, I guess it was mainly like some kind of like inside code name, talk.
Yeah,
so it'd be like, yo, that's a thought. It's a way of trying to say, yo, that
thotty
over there. Like, who said that? Like an irrelevant girl who's promiscuous, basically. Like, man, she lying, man. She just a thought. That. So, anyways, that was his breakout single,
right?
Tatiana. So I don't think I need to elaborate as to what he was saying in that song and referencing. However, the strange connection to that is,
yes, point that out.
Chrisean Rock. Whether you hate her or love her, you cannot deny that this girl, in many ways, she epitomizes every negative stereotype of today's modern woman and society that we're living in. Like she is one that's very abrasive, very disrespectful, very cutting. And this is no judgment, because what we realized in one of the clips we watched was that she's very broken.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Yeah.
In many ways. So it's kind of crazy that, you have these music songs and artists, and a lot of times what they condemn the most, what they talk against and make fun of is what they wind up with.
What? Yeah.
It's kind of crazy,
shows,
right? It's consistently like that. You talk about, yo, these girls be out here doing this and that, and then they marry or date someone that's like that to the extreme.
Exactly like that.
Right. And it's the same thing when we think about it in the other way or the other direction. A lot of times we hear women complain about the kind of guy they don't want to be with.
Yeah.
I don't play that. I don't talk to no guys that don't have this and this and that. And then you look at the track record. You would think like they just lined up outside of a prison and everyone that came out like 2-3 years winded up being a new boyfriend. It's just so we wanted to touch on that too. But before we go into it though, I will say this. Chrisean Rock, she also mentioned that she was pregnant, right, Juju?
Yep.
And there is a little Twitter, I don't know if it was Twitter or Instagram, but they had an exchange, both of these guys.
Yeah.
And so if we find it, I'll post it up on the screen for you guys to see. But basically what took place was she announced that she was pregnant. And he went on Twitter, went on social media to make it clear, this is not my child.
The baby ain't mine.
What makes it so crazy is that they've been together for like more than a year. Last few years, it seems like they've been together for quite some time, right?
Okay.
And if he'd been with women before, he never really claimed them at all. Not like this one. So the fact that he was so fast to say, this is not my child, again, that speaks volumes to what he must have been tolerating, exposed to, and just dealing with in that relationship.
Right.
And so what are your thoughts, Juju? Like, why do you think men like that somehow wind up with the women like Chrisean Rock?
I think it's what they're just putting out in the universe. Like they I feel like when you listen, it goes back to what you put out there, right?
Right.
Comes back to you,
yeah, that's
right?
True. Law of attraction.
That's it. Law of
Call
attraction.
It a lot of things.
Yes.
But yeah.
So when you're making music and you're just talking about these type of individuals, and not only just talking, you surround yourself with these types of individuals, these thotties. I mean, what do you expect? Right?
Yeah.
That's who you choose to be with, to engage with on an intimate level. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's just, listen, I have never followed, these people, but I have heard of Blueface, and the couple clips that you did show me, I was just utterly blown away.
Right.
Like, I mean, you remember, like, I was just like, oh my gosh, her energy. The rock girl, her energy, like just seeing like these multiple like fight videos that she's in, and it's like wow, just wow, like, and he was an artist, meaning he made some type of money, and this is who you chose to be with. I mean, I don't know, it's insane. As far as what he is stating, the baby's not mine. Listen, I don't know. He made
must
very
know something.
I mean,
or someone.
Right.
Wow.
It could be that.
Yeah.
Or it could be he very well knows the baby is his, but
he's just that disconnected from her at this point. Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it's just a lot of drama, a lot of negativity. It's a lot of toxicity.
Right.
Okay. Let's be very frank. Their whole relationship, from what I have gathered on the internet, is very toxic. So
it is, man. And so we are asking our audience today, if you guys are familiar with these two, what are your thoughts about them? And when we say that, by the way, I know it's hard for some people to express what they think about the relationship dynamics, because they don't want to feel judgmental. This has nothing to do with that. And I'll make it clear, when we talk about these dynamics, one is for awareness. We don't even really, want to name call or say or call them out their names per se, because that now seems a little personal, and that's not the angle that we take. But I think it's important to talk about these things, because often we hear the word toxic, right? I think everybody knows what a toxic relationship is. But how often do we talk about solutions or ways to get out of that toxicity? And in this case, mental health. So rather than going on this girl, label her the typical, crazy, psycho, she's wild, she's this or that, where does that come from?
Brokenness.
Like, and when we say mental health, aside from the trauma and the things that can happen to you psychologically, we're also talking in the literal sense. She may be very well multiple personality disorder.
Oh, yeah.
Schizophrenia. She could be bipolar. So we mean, like, that's what I mean when I say we're not being judgmental. We're trying to understand how do these things go unnoticed. We don't talk about it. That's why. So that's why we really want to know, what are your thoughts, man? Like, it's not a matter of like she should do this and he should do that. Like, we often ignore so many signals by the time we're willing to sit down and talk. We don't know where to begin.
But you want to know something to what you just highlighted or broke down? I absolutely believe she has her baggage of issues, right?
Right.
And he as well, for them to be together and, you know, last as long as they have, right?
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't even recommend like, oh, you know, do therapy together. No, like separate, work on yourselves.
Right.
Like, I don't even know, after working on yourselves individually, if you guys are even for each other. You guys just need to go your way, separate ways.
Yeah, and leave a comment below if you agree with her too, because sometimes people only go to couples therapy and they have like issues that go stem back to their childhood and even beyond, like when they were, before they could walk and talk, they've experienced trauma. So do you think it's a good idea to do couples therapy when you're dealing with something like this? Or like Juju said, maybe you got to work on yourselves individually and then as a couple? I don't know, man. It's tough because, you know, sometimes each case is unique.
It is unique,
but we like to know, and we like to also thank you if you made it this far in the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, drop your comments below, and let us know what you think about the current state of affairs when it comes to dating, because we're going to be talking a lot about that on this podcast. I am your boy Gamma, signing out with the lovely
Juju.
Until next time,
Escape the Matrix.